everybody, and welcome to Skycast, the podcast from Skydiving Puria Brava. Today, here with us, we have Raph Coudray, Fly Warriors, multi-champion title, he'll tell us about it, and also one of the skydivers who is more polyvalent, meaning that he does and has done different disciplines, flies different types of canopies, flies in the tunnel. So that's kind of be a bit of our topic, is how to manage skydiving in so many different sectors. So first of all, Raph, thank you very much for being with us today.
Happy to be here.
Thank you. I'm going to let you explain a little bit what you've achieved and what you're involved in the world of skydiving, because it's been a lot and very varied.
Well, what I achieved is I'm skydiver since 1993. I started quite young. I was 16, and I was trying to find a way to skydive, because from my first jump, I just wanted to skydive as much as I can, and we didn't have much money with my parents and me. I didn't work much, so at my drop zone they explained me that the only way to skydive for cheaper or for almost nothing was to compete and to make some good result, and then I'm gonna have some help from a federation, from a different association, etc. So then the same year I did my first competition of accuracy and style, because it was the easiest way to start competing, because to make a team the first year when you start skydiving, it's quite hard. And the drop zone where I was skydiving, I was the only one motivated for that, you know. So the only discipline I found was accuracy and style. And yeah, it was quite easy to start. Like the first year, I did my first competition in Gaptala, where I went to live 2 years later.
To follow your passion for skydiving, you moved, right?
and to go to the make of the best skydiving team ever, because it was the house of the four-way FS, who were world champion with Philippe Charnot, Franck Mahut, Eric Frade, all these guys, like, you know. The world champion in accuracy and style, the world champion in crew, the world champion in almost everything back in the day. So for me it was an evidence that I had to go there, to live there, to train there, and because like directly I wanted to be as good as I can, for sure, to be world champion. But my first goal was to pay cheaper my jumps. That was my first goal. Then the second goal was to become world champion, and then it became an obsession in any discipline I did.
Which were, so you started with accuracy, and then what was the other accuracy and style?
Yeah, from 93 till 99 I was doing accuracy and style in junior and senior.
And then what was the next discipline that you went into?
FS.
Okay.
But not for long. Like I did 1 year of competition, but I won with another guy who was doing accuracy and style with me back in the days, Mathieu Bernier, who is multiple world champion in FS now, and we had 1 year junior French championship, and we did it together at the last minute, and we won this competition. It was a three-way FS competition plus a video man, and we won this competition together. And he went to the FS side, and I did a bit of FS, but I went quickly to artistic discipline like freefly.
Okay, and there in the artistic discipline, I believe that you did some vertical formation skydiving. You do some just coaching for.
Well, like you mean back in the days?
Yeah, just.
No, like I was, before everything else, I was competitor.
Okay.
So I became professional, but after 7 years of competition full time.
But in what you started in the
style.
Okay, then FS, and then you went to four-way vertical formation.
No, because it didn't exist back in the days. Like the first year, the first official World Cup of VFS was in 2008. So before that, I did a freefly competition. I had a free fly team from 2001 till 2008.
Okay. But what would you say are, I guess, the pros and the cons of being multidisciplined? Because a lot of people in skydiving specialize in one discipline and they put all their heart and energy, and you kind of jumped around.
Well, if you want to do different discipline, be a multiple discipline athlete, you have to be full-time into it. Like you cannot do half-time. You cannot do like a 300 jump in one discipline, 100 in another one. You have to be like full-time jumping in every discipline, and well, it's a mindset. I think you have to be into it full power.
But does it help? Does it help your sky? Like,
yeah,
if you do both, does it make it harder or does it make it easier?
Depends. I think doing many things at the same time can be a problem, because at some point, if you want to become really good in a discipline, you have to be focused on this thing. But what I saw in my career is like doing accuracy and style make me fly a different way of all the other free flyer or VFS flyer. Because, for example, in style we do 6 movements in less than 6 seconds. So you have to be really explosive and do your transition really small. And so nobody comes from this discipline in free fly or VFS. So I was the only one who was doing my transition head up to head down, etc. with the style of someone who did this discipline style, you know. So I was really explosive, doing it really small and really fast. So that's quite strange to understand that, but doing accuracy and style helped me to be different or better than many of the other competitors in VFS, and also in free fly in some point of when we had to do some speed round, which was like kind of a two-way VFS.
Okay, but I heard some time ago somebody told me that in the end it's aerodynamics. So it's the air acting on your body, and it just depends on how you orient yourself in the air. So do you find in doing many disciplines, do you find that in the end you learn whether you're flying in vertical formation, whether you're doing static, whether you're doing belly, whether you're doing static vertical, whether you're moving? Do you find that in the end learning how to present your body, your wing into the air helps, period, regardless of what orientation you're presenting with, or does it change a lot?
Well, I'm not sure if I understood really well your question. Like, what does help the most in the other discipline with the style, the experience of style I had, I didn't understand really well your question. Okay. Like, it was a bit complicated.
It was a little bit complicated the way I explained it. So I think more, did doing all these various disciplines teach you instinctively how to present your body to the air? Well,
no, what it teach you in like all the discipline I did till VFS or till forward dynamic teach me a lot of things. Like, if I can give you, I gave you an example with style for my transition, but also doing FS for VFS, which is exactly the same thing, but we are in vertical position instead of on the belly. Also being in the air and in the sky all the time, and like makes your experience better. More you free fall, more you have a feeling. And and also on the canopy, like doing accuracy helps you to be better, and even fast canopies or for base jump canopies or whatever. So I think there's a connection in any discipline.
Okay.
All the disciplines are connected, but sometimes, as I told you, like accuracy and style looks like really far away from BFS, but finally there's some real connection that helps me a lot. Then also that, like your question was like the way you present your body, like it's that's the feeling part of flying, but you add that on top of that, you can add explosivity. You can add like a way of flying that you have thanks to some other disciplines. So there's the aerodynamic part and also the explosive part. And when both are working good together, it's like it goes like full power. And the VFS and the freefly helping me a lot in the tunnel as well, to go in the two-way and four-way dynamic world as well, because it, like for the speed run in four-way dynamic or two-way dynamic, I really use at the beginning my experience of a VFS with like doing straight line instead of carving. So there's connection everywhere.
What was the most complicated, because you kind of, a lot of people now learn to fly in the tunnel and then take it to the sky.
Yeah.
You learned to fly in the sky and then took it to the tunnel.
Yeah.
What was the hardest thing to adapt your flying to a tunnel instead of the sky?
Well, I don't really know, but when I started flying the tunnel was in 2003. And I was skydiver since 10 years, but 2003 was like more or less the time of that we had the first tunnel. So I was long time skydiver, like 10 years skydiver already, but I was one of the first tunnel instructor in France, and we were not so many in the world back in the days. So I didn't come from skydiving in the world of tunnel flying as we have now. We were like pioneers of this thing. So we are literally bringing our skydiving skills first of all in the tunnel, and then little by little we realized that, well, it's two different worlds. There's some similar things, but it's a different world. So we had to change a little bit our way of flying, because no rigs, because we use more bags, we use much more things than in the sky. And the connection works as well. The tunnel flyers who are going to the sky, it works really well because they have a huge technique in free fall. But what miss is the experience in skydiving, which is really much more important than in the tunnel. In the tunnel you can become like a rock star in 3 years, I would say. 2-3 years you can be a rock star. In skydiving it's a different story, because it's not only the free fall part, there's a lot of things much more things to care about. The canopy, or the planes, the other skydivers around you, you need much more experience in skydiving than in the tunnel.
Yeah, and that kind of brings me, you also are a tandem instructor,
Yeah.
So you fly from...
And AFF instructor.
And
as well.
AFF instructor. Yeah. So aside from switching disciplines and winning, because Raph, every discipline he participates in, he becomes world champion in, but aside from switching body flying disciplines, you also change canopies. So you fly your fast canopy, and then you fly a very large tandem canopy. What do you have to, because I assume that can be tricky, because it's a totally, I mean, a canopy is a canopy, but it's a very different management. So how do you...
You know, as I told you, skydiving is a huge question of experience. And more you jump many different kinds of canopy, more you feel comfortable in many kinds of canopy. For sure, like people who from the beginning flew like a 9-cell canopy and went straight to cross cells and fast canopies, when you ask them to fly with a 7-cell in base jump or in accuracy or a tandem, it takes more time to learn how to fly it, and they don't feel as confident as I do, because I learn with the slowest, and one of the most difficult discipline I know is the proper accuracy with the 7-cell, with like a slow canopies. Like it's really hard. Huh? For me, it's harder than the super fast canopy we have right now. To put your foot in a to make a zero, you know, which is like a big a piece of €1, and you have to put your foot in this thing to to make a carreau, you know, it's really hard, and you spend a lot of time under this canopy, and you understand a lot of things. And then for some reason, like when you know how to control that kind of canopy, flying a tandem or even fast canopies is quite
you just adapt.
Easy, yeah. But on the other way, it's taking more time, you know. So I'm happy that I come from accuracy and style to fly my canopy as I fly right now, because like that's gave me the most important experience for canopy piloting that I needed for now.
And also one thing that you've told me in different occasions, in several occasions, is that by doing all of these different things in skydiving, it keeps your passion alive.
Yeah.
So we're almost out of time. So my last question is, do you still have the same passion for the sport that you had in the beginning?
I love this sport, and I have to say that I'm way less in the tunnel now and much more in the sky, because this is like where I start, and this is my real passion. And I agree with you, like we've been talking a few times about that, like if I was doing only free fly coaching, or if I was doing only training, competition or whatever, I would get bored by that. But I love to do sometimes tandems, sometimes IFS, sometimes free fly coaching, one-on-one, group. I like to do a little bit of everything, some demo jump, that's what keeps the passion alive, I think. That's what keeps my passion alive. I really need to do a little bit of everything to feel good. If I was only doing the job with the fly warrior, like free fly coaching, I would miss something. I would be happy, but not as happy as I am right now.
And isn't it an incredible fortune?
Like for example, this week I'm gonna do free fly all week, and they asked me Saturday to do some tandems, and I'm like, for sure. That's because I'm happy. But if I was doing tandem every day, every week for 8 months, I would be like, no way, like leave me alone, you know. So yeah, this is how I live my passion. Like I need to change discipline, and I love every discipline, but not in an overdose mode, you know.
Well, thank you very much, Raph. We've run out of time, so thank you very much for telling us your story, your experience, and for taking the time to be here with us today. And thank you to all of you for following us, and stay tuned. The next episode of the Skycast soon.